object, while the method is more like the behavior, which are the functions that define what the object can do. I don't know if that makes sense. So now, take an example from, say you have a laptop that is what, this laptop is it's a MacBook Pro, maybe say 2024. Can you hear me? Please write it down. Okay, let me just put it here. That's the object, right? Now I'm going to list some things for you. So it's not your choice. The task is now going to be that tell me which one is what is an attribute and which one is a method. Do you understand?
All right.
14 inches. Aside 14 inches, say M3 to 1 terabyte blue. What else can I see? What else can I see? 17 hours battery life. Okay, so which of these, this is the object itself, right? Which is the MacBook Pro 2024. That's the laptop, that's the object. You see, an object is a it represents a single thing, such as MacBook Pro 2024, which could be anything such as a student, a car, a laptop, or a data set. Do you understand? Now, each object has attributes and methods. So now I'm asking you, which of these is an attribute? Which of this is a method? So that's going to help you understand which one is an attribute, which one is a method. Go ahead.
The 14 inches M3, 1 terabyte, and blue. I think that should be the attribute, and the methods is 17 hours battery life.
Do we all agree? The method is 17
Yes,
hours.
sir.
Do you
Yes.
agree? Why? Why do you agree?
Because all the other 17 hours battery life is like what it can do. It can last for 17 hours. But all the other things, 14 inches are what makes up like the structure of the laptop. M3, 1 terabyte, like the storage, blue like the color. So those are the it has to do with the structure sha, of the laptop, like the characteristics. Hello.
Yes, I'm with you.
Yes, sir. I said
Okay, what if I
I
tell you
said
that you're wrong?
ah, I like it.
All of them
Okay.
are attributes. There's not a single method there.
Okay.
But like 17 hours battery life is also a specification. It's also property of the laptop. Do you get, like, attributes represent the data that defines an object state, like the physical characteristics or the configuration details.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Go ahead.
Um, okay, the 17 hours battery life you said is an attribute too.
Yes, it's an attribute.
And
It is.
what if we have like under this attribute that is there, we have like maybe 20,000 mAh battery, and that 17 hours is going to like tell us what that battery is going to do.
It's still an attribute.
Okay. Alright.
Like I said, like see, I like the way to look at it is that attributes are the properties or characteristics of the MacBook. Do you understand? Like when you're saying what are the characteristics of this particular laptop, methods are what the laptop can do. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Like, for instance, now the fact that the laptop can turn on, it's a method. The fact that you can sleep the battery is so you can sleep the laptop is a method. If you want to check the battery life, it's a method. If you want to install software, those are methods. Does that make sense? Hello.
Yes, it does.
Yes, sir.
You see, like
Yeah.
sleep the laptop now, it's not a characteristics of that laptop. It is what the laptop can do. Do you understand? Those are methods. I hope you guys get it now. Should I use something else as an example?
Yes, sir.
So let's use a car, right? So if I say the car is a Toyota, that's the make, right? Let me put it here. Right. If I say Toyota, right? If I say Corolla, right? If I say it's 2023, if I say it's red, if I say it has only covered 15,000 miles, the mileage, and I say, okay, that one, all these are what?
That's all.
Attributes.
What did you say?
Attributes.
Attributes.
Can you guys say with your full chest if you are sure?
Attributes.
You're still not saying it with your full chest.
That's the
Attributes.
attribute.
It is attributes.
Exactly. Then now, what are going to be the method for that kind of car? Like the fact that the car can start, it's a method. The fact that the car can stop, right? The fact that it can use the brake, those are methods. I hope that's clear now.
Yes, sir.
If I ask you people next class and you don't know it, I'll find you and beat you up. Now, what is a class? A class is a blueprint. Do we understand objects like that? Because for you to be able to build anything under OOP, you need to understand what is an object and what is a class. Now, a class is a blueprint for creating the object. Does that make sense? Now, what it does is that it defines a set of attributes and methods that the object created from it will have. Does that make sense? Can you guys hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
sir. We can hear you.
Yes, a class is like a blueprint. Just take for instance now, like have you seen where they're making block before, like block making industry? Have you seen one before? Maybe they are doing manual or they are doing the machine own. Have you seen one before?
Yes, sir.
They have a mode that they use.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Like, are we on the same level with that? There is a mode that they normally use. The mode they use for the 66 inches block is different from the one they use for the 9 inches block. Please, if you can't follow, please just raise your hand. Maybe I can think of an example that all of us can relate to it. If nobody's raising their hand, I want to assume that we can all follow. Does that make sense? So now the class is that mode. So any like it is that class, that mode that defines what is going to be the attributes and method of every block made from that mode. It's going to say that okay, every what's it called is going to be 9 inches because it is a 9 inches mode because that's the class. Now, think of a class as a template for creating objects. For example, if you have a class called car, it might have attributes like the color, the model, and method like start, stop. Each car what objects created from this class, we have these attributes and methods. Are we happy? So who can create another, who can give me another example of a class?
Class animals.
Okay, so what's going to be like continue?
Then object should be dog.
Okay,
So the attributes, the tail,
continue now. Who wants to give it a shot again? Go ahead,
But
Amida.
let me help her.
Okay.
She said tail, ear, um, face, tongue,
You guys made a
body,
mistake.
legs.
The what's it called?
Last, the
The
attributes, Sabi.
animal itself is not a class
Oh,
because you can't create all the animals the same way. Do you hear what I'm trying to say?
yes.
You can't create all the animals the same way. Some don't have tail.
Oh.
And what we said here is that they must have what the same attributes. You see, it defines a set of attributes and methods that the object created from it will have. Meaning that if you are creating an animal from that, it must have what this object, sorry, these attributes. So think of example.
Sir, what about class person, or let's say people? Okay, person.
Okay,
So the attributes should be name, age, height.
okay, that works too. That works. That's correct. That means
So
it must have
object should not be
have the
anybody.
exactly. Or you can think of it this way too. Like if you're building, you have a building plan. The building plan is what is the class. So like the number of rooms, the number like the height of the building, all those stuffs will be what will be the attributes. Now let's
And
move
big.
on. What did you say? So let's move on, which is the second one, which is attribute variables and method function within a class. Yeah, no any Taufik.
And there is one thing I've not gotten there. He said they must be of the same attributes.
No, I specifically don't mean that they must be of the same attributes. They must
Oh,
like it defines the attributes. You get what I'm trying to say?
okay, okay, okay.
Yeah, attributes are variable associated with a class. Does that make sense? They hold the data that makes up the state of an object. In Python, attributes are usually defined using the init method. Does that make sense? So when you want to define an attribute, you use what? The init method. Now, methods are functions defined within a class that operate on the data attributes within the class. Just like think of method and attribute. The relationship between method and attributes is that look at the battery life now, right? The battery life is an attribute. But you powering it, do you understand? Having a function that turns on is what is it called? Is a method. Does that make sense? Hello.
Yes, sir, it makes sense.
Okay. So I'm sure we've been expecting a proper example that has to do with a code. So this is one. Now, this is class, right? Class car. Now, this is the init method initializes the attributes when the object is created. Now, look at it. Def init. We want to create what? We want to create the want to set their attributes, want to initialize the attributes. Now, what attributes are we going to give to it? The first one is what? Color and model. Do you understand? Color and model. Then we say self.color is what? Is the color that I want to use. Self.model is the model of the car. Do you understand? Method to display the car details. Def display information, right? Now this is a method. Print the car is what is a self.color, then self.model. Now a method to start the car will be print what f the what the self.model is what is starting. Does that make sense?
Sir, please explain again.
So basically, what I'm saying is that that innate function, basically def is for defining, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So is a special method that we call a constructor, and we normally use it to initialize the object attributes when the object is being created. It's just like you are saying you want to start creating this, just putting that thing down. That's the init method. It's just a way to say we are starting. Do you understand? Then it now has three things inside it. It has three parameters, which is self, color, and model. Now, self is a reference to the current instant of the class. Do you understand? That gives you access to the attributes and method of that class. Then color and model are the attributes of the car class. Does that make sense? Then the display info and the stats, they are the methods that define the car, what's the actions the car can perform. Does anybody understand?
Yes, sir.
How about the rest of us? Do you want us to stop there or we should move on to the next thing? So now we've created the class. Does that make sense? Now we can now start creating the instances of the class. When we say creating an instance of a class, once you have created a class, once you've defined a class, just like we did here, we've defined the color and the model of the car, we've defined the methods of the car, we've defined what the car can do and what it looks like, right? So now the next thing will be to create an instance. When we say we are creating instance, we are creating, it's just like saying after you defined the template, you now want to start producing. So everything you produce is an instance of the class. Does that make sense? See, for instance, now creating an instance of the car class will be maybe my own car is what car red Toyota Corolla. The red is what is the color. The model is Toyota Corolla. So if I want to access the attribute, I'll say my car dot color is going to output red. If I say my car dot model is going to output Toyota Corolla. When I say my car dot display info, it's going to display that this car is a what? Is a Toyota Corolla. My car dot start is saying the Toyota Corolla is starting. Do you understand? Can you see? Does that make sense?
Uh,
Hello, can you hear me?
I hear you, sir.
Good. So in the example that we have above, the my car is an instance of the car. You could create another one. Do you get? You could create another one and call it your car. Then make that one blue and make it what else again? Make it blue and make it Rolls Royce or G Wagon. Does that make sense? Or black.
yes.
So if you want to access that one, you say your car dot color, your car dot model, your car dot display info, your car dot what dot start. So that's the relationship between initializing and using and creating an instance. Now, if you want to create multiple instances that with the same car, like with the same class, so just have another one like this, which is what another car, right? Car blue under Civic. Then if you want to get the information, you say another car dot this, another car dot that, and that works. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
So let me quickly give us a quick class one that we can practice with. I just want people to respond as much as possible. Now, define a class. Create a book class with attributes title, author, and publish. Include a method called display info that prints the book's information. How are we going to do that? Hello?
Hello, sir.
How are we going to do this? So what are we going to do?
We start with the class
Here we say class. Then what's the name of the class?
and book.
Book.
Then inside we have self. We have. I mean,
What
sorry.
did you say we
Define.
have
We
inside? Look at it.
define. Yeah, yeah,
Define.
exactly.
We say def.
Define. Init. Then self.
Sorry, the unit is supposed to be one end. Yes. So we say self, referencing to the class, to book itself. What did they say we should put there?
The
Title,
title.
comma, the
Author.
author,
Yeah. Then the year
or
published.
year published. right? Then put
Yes.
this at the back, right? So what's going to be the next thing?
So we have
We can
self dot title.
self dot color equals to color, self dot model equals to model. So you can say self dot what? Dot title
Title. Yes, sir.
equals
Equals to
to
title.
title, right?
Then
Self
dot
dot
author
author
equals to author.
equals to author.
Then
Then
dot
self dot year published, right?
yes, sir.
Equals to year published. Does that make sense? So now what's going to be the next logical thing for us to create what it can do, right?
Yes, sir.
Which is the methods. So you can start defining methods. You can say def. What methods do we say? Include a method called display info, display underscore info, right? So what's going to be inside here?
You have
Ma,
self, oh, self.
is going to be self.
Yeah,
So yeah,
then close
good.
it.
So now say print f, right? We say something like the name of the book is, right, title, comma, the name of the author is, and comma, the name of the title, author, and what's and year published. How come nobody's saying anything?
Yeah, with you, sir.
Is year published, right? So this is our class that we created. Please don't forget because we already assigned it to self dot. So please don't forget to put it so that self dot year published because we already created a new, what's it called, a variable and called it self dot title, self dot author, and self dot year published. So now we can now start creating our instances, right? You can say my book now equals to what? Book. You can say data analysis for dummy, right? Then comma Muiz, comma 2024, right? So does that make sense? So we can go ahead and say my book dot display info. The name of the book is Data Analysis for Dummy, right? The name of the author is Muiz and was published in 2004. Can you see? This is how you create class and instances. Is it clear? Do you have any questions so far? Should I continue or would you like to take a break here?
So please let's take a break here.
All right, no wala. All right. So it's nice. I'll see you guys during the week so that we can pick it up from here. And I'm going to send you guys projects too. I just want you guys to be ready. Then I can send it. But now I think you can start looking at it. You are ready. So it's just that you have to use functions and modules and inheritance classes and everything for it. But then I think I can send it now. You guys will be fine. All right. See you during the week and enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Thanks, sir.